Have you ever done something that your soul resists? Perhaps you dislike your job, or you harbor an unspoken grudge against a loved one. Look inside yourself and listen to your inner voice. Do you feel dissatisfaction, reluctance, or even a sense of dread when faced with a particular task or situation? If you discover these feelings, observe them without judgment. What thoughts come to mind that are related to this situation? Maybe you feel that someone is exploiting you for their own interests, or you have simply become tired of the activity you are doing. It's possible that a close person has behaved unfairly, leading to a deep-seated feeling of resentment. These feelings are not to be ignored, as they are signals from your inner self. None of this truly matters on the surface. It is completely irrelevant whether your thoughts and feelings triggered by this situation are objectively justified or not. The fact is that on an energetic level, you are not taking genuine action in reality. You are, in essence, creating a form of internal friction, building up what is known as excess potential. This creates a significant problem for you, a deep and painful conflict between what is outside and what is inside you. You must make a conscious decision to stop doing what you are doing. Finally, talk to the close person and fully and honestly express what you feel, or let go of the negative energy that is slowly poisoning you and your future. It is incredibly important to recognize the utter uselessness of negativity. It cannot be an optimal or effective method for solving a situation. By holding on to it, you are actually hindering real change and trapping yourself in a cycle of suffering. Everything you do while fueled by negative energy becomes poisoned by it, and over time leads to even more pain, frustration, and disappointment. Command your brain to let go of the negativism, just as you would let go of a piece of hot coal that has suddenly landed in your hands. How do you get rid of a heavy and useless burden? You simply recognize that you no longer want to carry the pain and no longer want to drag the heavy burden, and you simply let the piece of coal or your burden fall from your hands. Yes, negativism can simply be let go of. Understand that you no longer want anything to do with it, and that you no longer need it to define your life. When you realize that you have a choice in every moment, and that you are more than your conditioned reflexes and automatic reactions, you must understand that you have access to a profound inner power. Either you accept this power and begin to consciously control your reality, or you continue to struggle in a reality that simply happens to you without your input. If a certain thought image, an emotion, or a reaction has already arisen within you, you can accept it, but you must not cultivate it further. You do not have to try to suppress an emotion that has already arisen immediately. You were not mindful enough at the moment of its creation and thus took away your choice. But even in retrospect, you can ask yourself, if you had the choice, or rather, if you understood that you have it, what would you choose? Suffering or joy? Carelessness or fear? Even if you cannot control your negative reactions for a while and must practice their acceptance, sooner or later you have to move up to the next level of consciousness. At this level, you have fundamentally changed your attitude towards the situation, and negative emotions no longer arise at all. If this does not happen, acceptance becomes a mere excuse that merely allows you to continue tolerating and justifying negativism. Some people seem to defend their right to unconsciousness and their right to suffer by claiming that negative experiences are a normal part of life. You don't have to worry. No one intends to take away that right from them. If you know that a certain type of food makes you sick, is it normal or wise to continue eating it? Check if you are not expressing a useless but deeply destructive dissatisfaction with the situation you are in through the words and actions of other people, through your environment, through your own life, or even through the weather. Dissatisfaction is always the active rejection of what exists in your current timeline. When you express this dissatisfaction, you are sacrificing your own well-being and happiness. In this case, the present will never be good enough for you, and consequently, you bind yourself to unfavorable lifelines by transmitting dissatisfaction energy. Worse, you provoke an induced transition by switching to an even worse scenario, a self-fulfilling prophecy of negativity. When you express your attitude to something calmly, clearly, and distinctly, you demonstrate your inner strength and integrity. To change the current situation, you must either take decisive action or express yourself clearly and distinctly if this is possible and necessary. Either you leave the situation or you accept it completely. Everything else is a slow and debilitating poison for you and your future. So if you find your current situation unbearable and it makes you unhappy, you have 3 clear options: to leave the situation, to change it, or to accept it completely. If you want to take full responsibility for your life, choose one of these options immediately. Then accept the consequences of your choice without hesitation. No excuses, no lingering negativity. There is another option, but it is only a temporary solution. It is described by Vadim Zeland in his book on transurfing and is called renting yourself out. The essence of it is that you make a conscious agreement with your soul, your body, and your mind, and deliberately remain in the situation, such as an unloved job. Although this work is not close to your heart, it allows you to fulfill all your material needs and obligations. You rent yourself out for a certain period, and at the same time take proactive steps to find your true purpose and passion. In this way, you can calmly, without stress, haste, and rush, move towards your credo. The knowledge that you will not be without money helps you not to exaggerate the importance and not to create excessive potentials during the search. If you have decided to act, to leave or change the situation, first realize that any action is often better than inaction, especially if you have clung to your unhappiness for a long time. Even if your action is wrong, you will at least learn something invaluable, and then it will no longer be a mistake but a lesson. However, if you hold on to your attachment to the past, you will learn nothing and remain stagnant. What is stopping you from acting? Admit the fear, observe it without letting it control you, and focus on the space between the fear and your thinking. If you can do nothing to change the situation and cannot leave it, then accept this fact completely and let go of your inner resistance. Your false, unhappy self, which likes to feel sorry for itself, feeling suffering and offended, will not survive this total acceptance. But total acceptance is not a sign of weakness. There is profound wisdom and strength in it. By ceasing to fight against the situation, you free yourself from it internally, and then you might find that your situation has miraculously changed without any effort on your part. In any case, you can free yourself from the situation. First your mind, then reality. Maybe you are not doing what you should be doing. Go and do it right now. Alternatively, you can fully and consciously accept your inaction, laziness, and passivity. If you have chosen to do so, go into it completely. Enjoy it. Be as lazy and passive as you can be. The paradox is that if you fully and consciously accept this state, you will leave it very soon. Nothing will remain of the inner conflict, resistance, and negativity. Perhaps you are tense, stressed. You are rushing so much into the future that you only assign the present the role of a means to achieve a future goal. When you are moving, working, or running, do it completely. Enjoy the pure energy boost. This is the powerful and unadulterated energy of the present moment. You no longer experience stress. You are no longer torn. You simply move, run, work, whatever, but only one thing at a time, and you enjoy it fully. Or you can leave all that and just sit on a park bench. But don't forget to observe your mind. Put away the phone and be alone with yourself. Observe this racing flow of thoughts that your brain generates. Is your attention directed to the past? Are you constantly talking and thinking about past events that you approve or disapprove of? About suffering and insults that have been inflicted on you? Or about those you have offended yourself? If you think about the past, does a wave of indignation and anger rise in your soul? In this case, you are not only solidifying your false ideas about the present, but also accelerating the aging processes in your body. After all, you are accumulating the past in your soul, which acts as a heavy anchor. Observe those who hold on to the past with an iron grip. You will see the confirmation of this yourself in their physical appearance and demeanor. Let every moment of your life become a moment of detachment from the past. You don't need it. Only turn to it if it has a direct and practical relevance to the present moment. Feel the power of this moment and your full presence in it. Continue to observe your mind. How many of your thoughts start with "what if"? Stop fighting against situations that have not yet occurred, and of which it is not even certain whether they will occur. Again, recognize reality as it is and yourself in it. Notice your breath. Feel the air flowing in and out of your lungs. Feel your energy field, the space that you occupy. Ask yourself, what difficulties are bothering me now? Not tomorrow, not in a year, or even not in 5 minutes, but exactly now? What is truly wrong with this moment? It is quite possible to master the present, but you should not waste your energy and not fight against something that does not even exist yet. The future. Answers, strength, and opportunities will appear exactly when you need them, not earlier and not later.